Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, everybody. My name's Courtney. I'm in the business support specialist in the Keene office, and today we're going to talk about dotloop. Our primary focus for today will be just going over the profile and account settings, and then how to create your first loop, fill out your forms, and then send that off to your clients or customers electronically. So with that said, let me just share my screen with you.
And for those that are joining, dotloop, we're going to review dotloop. And dotloop is paid for by the NAR, right? Courtney, you can talk a little bit about this through New Hampshire Real Estate or Association of Realtors. So it's mostly used in the New Hampshire region. And I heard from Angela that most of you main agents will use SkySlope or DigiSign, I believe it is. So we'll have trainings
or zip forms.
Or zip forms, yeah, thank you. We'll have trainings on those if needed in the future, but for right now, we're going to review dotloop.
Okay, so can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let me just start from the beginning. So, bear with me. Okay, so once you're in dotloop, you'll find your profile settings in the upper right-hand corner. To make any changes to that, you would just click on My Account Settings, and then you would choose Account Settings. In this section, you can add your photo. You'd want to make sure your name is correct in here. You want to fill in your role, your email address, and then most importantly, down here is where your e-sign name will appear and your e-sign initials. So you want to make sure that that is set up the way that you want it. And then also you'll need to add in your NRDS number, and that is something that you get through the National Association of Realtors. With that number, you're able to link your association. You want to make sure you add in your association. So for New Hampshire, it's a New Hampshire Association of Realtors, and that's how you're going to gain access to all of the forms, is by syncing dotloop with the NRDS number that you have. Any questions on that part? I know that was kind of quick. If not, we'll move down. In the account settings are your notification settings. So in here you can choose if you want to be notified when a document is signed, if a document is shared. You can check off so that you'll receive notifications within dotloop, and then also if you'd like to be emailed for notifications as well. So you can choose both of those. And again, you would do that in the profile setting. Once that's done, and that's kind of an easy setup, you're ready to create your first loop, select your forms, and then again, send that out to your clients. The home screen for dotloop looks like this. You can see all the current deals that you have going on. To create a new loop, you would just click here, add loop, and then that will bring you to the next screen. At this point, you'll just want to name the loop. You could use the property address, you can use the MLS number, you could use your client's name, however you want to name your loop, whatever works best for you. You would fill that in here, and then you would hit continue. When you hit continue, the system's going to ask you if you want to upload a photo. You don't have to. If you don't choose a photo, you'll see this is kind of their standard photo, and that's how they show the loops, you know, again on that home screen. I named this one 123 I Love Listings. If you just hit next, it'll bring you to this screen that we're at. And then at this point, you're ready to kind of get into the loop and start working on your forms. So you would hit view loop. And then now you're inside the loop. As you can see up here, you are able to select the transaction type. So for today, we're going to pretend like we're doing a listing. So it's a listing for sale. It's an active listing. Over here, you can see that we're using a custom loop name. And then down here, you'll see yourself as the agent, and then you would want to add in anyone else that's involved in this transaction. So for today, we're going to pretend like I'm selling my house, I'm the client or the customer. So you would click add person, and then you'll have a screen that will pop up and you can add in all of your seller's information. So you'd want to put in their first name, their last name, their email address, and the role that they have. You can kind of see the little drop down here. You're able to select, you know, if they're a buyer, a seller, and things of that sort. The only required field in this section are their name and then the role that they have. So you can kind of fill in as much or as little as you want here. Once you're done filling all of that in, you would just hit add person down at the bottom. And then you'll see them in your loop. And if you had other individuals that you needed to add, you would just follow the same process. Just hit add person, and then add in anyone else involved in the transaction. So if everything looks good here, then you're ready to go in and select the forms that you need. You would just scroll up in that screen and then you would see this. There's templates. This is where you can select individual interactive forms. There's a browse option. So if you had forms saved on your desktop and you wanted to upload those here, you could do that. Or if you had an email, you could forward the email here and then work with the forms there. For today, we're going to use the NHAR forms. So you would select templates, and that's going to bring you to this little pop-up where it asks you to choose the documents that you want to add. You'd click on NHAR interactive forms. You can search up here, or you could simply scroll through all of the forms that NHAR has. I typed in exclusive listing, and again, you'll see it kind of brings up everything with that wording in there. So I chose exclusive listing agreement for designated agency. You would select that, and you are able to select more than one document. So if you wanted to go through and put in, you know, your listing agreement, your brokerage relationship form, things like that, you can select more than one. And then you would just hit copy. And what that does is it copies it into the loop. You'll see here, exclusive listing agreement. Now that you have all of your documents in your loop, at this point, you're ready to fill them out and work with them. So to do that, you have to select, there's boxes next to the forms. You'd select the forms that you want to work with, and then you click on them. And that will bring you to an autofill section. You can use this section or you don't have to. Autofill will basically just auto-populate the form. So you could take time and fill in the information that you have here, or you don't have to. You could fill it in on the form directly. So I just put some information in here to show so that you guys could see how that works. Under the seller, you'll have all of the sellers that you have added into the loop. So there's myself as a seller. You'll see yourself as the agent. So the listing agent is here. And then you can fill in whatever information you have. So the property address, as you scroll down on the screen in .loop, you'll see commission information and various other information that you can fill in. So again, if you fill it in here, it will auto-populate into the form for you. And there is a save button at the bottom. So you would fill it out and hit save. And that will bring you right into the form. So as you can see, there's the information that I had filled out in the autofill. It pre-populated all of that information here. Anything that didn't auto-populate, you'd want to kind of go through your form, make sure it's filled out the way that you want it, that everything looks good. Once you've done that, you'll get to the bottom of the form. The system knows who the seller is. So it says Courtney sign here. You can fill these in separately. And then it does also know that you are the listing agent. So you have this little section that says listing agent sign here. At this point, if your form is filled out, everything's complete, and you're ready to sign it, you are able to do that before you send it out to your client. So you would just click on listing agent sign here. Up will come the e-signature. So this is what you had filled out in your profile. So we have Nancy Proctor, that's her signature preview. Those are her initials. If everything looks good and you're happy with the way that your signature looks, you just hit adopt and sign. And that will sign the form for you. So you can see here, this form was signed by Nancy, and it's ready to go to your client. So once you're ready to send it off to your clients, you hit save and share. It's going to give you some options and some permissions that you can assign to your people. So if you want them to be able to just view this form, you don't want any editing or any signatures, you would hit view only. If you want them to just be able to sign the form, you could select can sign, and that lets them just fill in the signature portion. Can fill and sign, this will allow them to fill in any blanks. So if there's a part of the form or portion of the form that wasn't complete and that you're looking for them to fill out, you would choose this option, and then they can fill out that section and sign it. And then can edit in private, this allows them to change anything on the form. So I would use that one with discretion. They could be changing, who knows what. So once you're ready to send that out and you've selected your permissions, you would just hit share. And this is what they see on their end. So your client or your customer will get an email from you. It shows your name, obviously from and to them, and that you've shared a document with them. What they'll need to do is view the document, and then they will do the same thing that you had done. They'll select a signature font that they like, and the system will walk them through signing or filling in wherever they need to fill in. And then once that's done, once they've filled everything in, if you have selected or chose that you want notifications, you would get an email notification if you chose that. If you just wanted a system notification, you would see that here. So there's one notification. The document was signed and it's ready for your review. If everything looks good, at that point you can download. And if there are more than one over here, you could select, you would see that they were all signed, and you could choose which ones you wanted to work with if you needed to do anything with them. At this point, you could download them, select the documents, download them, save them to your desktop, and either put them into SkySlope or however you manage your files. At that point, you would be ready to do that. And that is the overview of dotloop. Are there any questions?
I don't have any. Thank you, Courtney.
You sure?
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions, marketing@masscielo.com. Send us anything that you guys need, and we can get the answers for you. All right. Well, thank you, Courtney, for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.